Hi, my name's Gavin, and it's nice to see you. Welcome back to the Gavin Talk About YouTube channel. We're talking about anything and everything. Today we're going to talk about Halloween 2, released in 1981. If you guys haven't already, please hit that like button, please hit that subscribe button. And as always, let's get right into the video. Bye! Halloween 2, in a filmmaker's standpoint, it's an okay sequel, right? It's not bad, it's not horrible, it's okay. It's not good. I feel like 2018 did it better. I know in hindsight, the power of hindsight is always correct, but in this film, it felt like they didn't want to do this movie, right? And that was the truth. They didn't want to make this movie. They wanted Michael Myers to be a entity. They wanted Halloween to be a series that touches on multiple characters, right? But since number 1 was such a great hit, number 2, and you brought Michael back, I feel like if you didn't make Michael Myers number 2, it would have been better. But I know that you guys kind of had to because you guys left number 1 in a cliffhanger. In number 1, we did something better in that one, right? We had, in 1979, we had the best, or 1978, whenever it was made, we had the best, character movie of Michael Myers, Laurie, Strode. We even had a great little Judith Myers character movie, right? She was the reason Michael Myers went mad and all that. In this movie, it comes out that Laurie's his sister, which is freaking weird, first of all. And second of all, I don't get that. And, okay. So, when we get to the Rob Zombie movie, don't get me started on that just yet, please. But when we get to that, I'll rip into that plotline a little more because those movies really makes it even more like, what the fuck are we doing? The one thing that I hate about Halloween Kills is what this movie does too. And Halloween Kills ripped off of this movie. Number 2 was basically this movie, right? This movie was Laurie in the hospital. But at least Laurie did something in this movie instead of Halloween Kills. We'll get to that when we get to it. But in my opinion, we have memorable deaths. We have memorable moments. We don't have memorable plot lines. We don't have memorable character arcs. And we don't have memorable, things that happen, you know? I've never seen these movies. Up until now, I think I've only watched the first 2, right? So going more into these movies, up until the remakes, I've seen none of them. I've seen the Rob Zombie remakes, but that's about it. So if we, look at that in a standpoint of, okay, how do we make a great sequel? Well, this wasn't it. And I'm not trying to be an asshole. I love this franchise. But this was a weird way to set Michael Myers free, right? This was weird. It almost felt like they didn't want to do what they did in the first movie, because they didn't. Because Michael Myers, anytime he showed up in the first movie, it's like you hear the music, and then you don't see him, you just hear the mask, right? You hear him breathing in the mask. You don't see that stuff until the end. Like in the first movie, it was throughout the whole freaking movie. In this movie, you don't see that until the end. You don't hear him breathing until the end. You don't see things that made the first movie iconic. And I get it. I get you're trying to do something else with the sequel. I get you're trying to do something better with the sequel. And I get it. However, in my opinion, this movie and the movies afterwards didn't have to exist. Because I feel like 2018 did it better, right? Again, we have the power of hindsight, and 2018 really did do it better. However, this movie was an okay sequel, not the best. Having that doctor nurse get boiled in the hot tub, oh, that was classic. That was iconic. That's an iconic moment. See? Memorable moments. Memorable kills. Like when Michael Myers was crying blood when he got shot. The blood started dripping, right? Iconic moment. What else is there in this movie, though? Because you have someone killing a Michael Myers imposter, and I'm over here feeling bad. Meanwhile, you guys don't give a fuck. Like, so it's like, oh, we just killed this random innocent man. Well, on to the next. Like, God. Like, it really didn't matter to you guys? And in the end, although iconic, the imposter, who they thought was Michael Myers, is in flames, right? And then we have Michael Myers in the real form, right? Him, Michael Myers. And he is inflamed in the hospital, right? Iconic moment. But that's all this movie was, in my opinion. The first movie had a compelling story. The house of Michael Myers. Michael comes home. That is iconic. But then we get to this movie and you're like, fuck it, he needs revenge. And as I'm watching this movie, I'm constantly questioning myself. This man is not a man, right? This man is an entity. He's not a human anymore. Because he gets shot multiple times. He gets, like, hit. He gets slashed. He gets, like, hurt. And, nothing happens until he gets burned. And he is dead, right? Him and Loomis is presumably dead. They don't tease anything for future installments. So I'm almost guaranteed that they didn't want to continue with the Michael Myers character. Which kind of brings me into the Season of the Witch. I haven't seen it, but I've heard of it. I've seen kill counts of it. Haven't seen the story of it yet. I'm excited to sit down and watch it next week. However, I'm scared because what happens if, like, because the third movie is not connected to number 2, right? Like, Michael Myers is not in the third movie. I think he makes a cameo in, like, a TV thing. But he's not, like, a, you know, like, it's nothing, right? And this mask, it was fine. Although, in my opinion, you can't be showing eyes. I'm sorry, but if you show the eyes, then you show vulnerability. If you show eyes, then you show human. You can't be doing that with Michael Myers, right? I'm sorry, but you can't. And I can't remember if Jason shows his eyes, which I'm almost certain he does. But that's besides the point, because his whole thing is he's just a guy in a hockey mask. And Michael Myers, he's a guy in an old Harm Shatner or whatever, like, mask. And he here, right? Which I don't mind. I don't mind that in the first movie. In the second movie, I was expecting a little more. And this movie, in my opinion, was a letdown in that regard. Trying to be a follow-up to an iconic movie is always hard, so I will give him that. It still has great moments in this movie, but in my opinion, number 2 is just a letdown because A, we don't see much of Laurie. Like, we do, but it's mostly done Pleasance and Dr. Loomis. And I walked into Halloween Kills, right? The second remake movie, not the Rob Zombie one, but the future one, 2018 and on. And I went into Halloween Kills and walked out of it thinking this didn't suck, but it wasn't for me. And to find out that they stole the idea of that movie from this movie kind of made me a little irritated. And it's like a whole thing where Laurie is drugged up all day in this movie, not Halloween Kills. We'll get into Halloween Kills. We'll get into that in the future. Cause fucking A. But yeah. I know when I'm done with the Halloween franchise, we're probably gonna look at the Friday the 13th franchise. I'm excited to get into that stuff too. I'm excited to keep going to this Halloween franchise. Because I think that Halloween, although not bad, the first 2, right? Halloween 1, iconic, great, fantastic. Halloween 2, to be desired. I didn't like this as much as I like number 1. Which sucked, because I thought I was going to enjoy this. And I didn't like the hospital setting. But again, I'm also a kid with disabilities. I'm also a guy with disabilities who's been in and out of the hospital his whole entire life. I don't like hospitals at all anyway, right? So that might have a factor in it. But also I just don't. I need to get out of that mindset of it needs to have a good story. Because most horror movies doesn't have good stories. It just has good kill and good, like, impact moments. So I really need to get back into that headspace. But yeah, if you guys like Halloween too, please let me know in the comments section below. What was your favorite moment? What was your favorite part of this movie? I just feel like this movie was not for me. If it was for you guys, great. I'm happy for you. But it wasn't for me, and I'm not gonna pretend that it is. Okay. Have a great day. Hope to see you guys tomorrow.